Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing good and I am back with the second video of the video series on magnetic effects of current class 10 science, and in this video we are specifically going to talk about the Oersted experiment. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started.
Before this Oersted experiment was performed, electricity and magnetism both were studied at two different subjects, there was no relation between the two. In electricity, we talked about electric current, electric charges and all those stuff. That means whenever we spoke about electricity, we spoke about current flowing through a wire. We talked about electric circuits, resistances and all those stuff. Whenever we talked about magnetism, we talked about the properties of magnets, that materials getting attracted towards the magnet when they are placed in magnetic field, and again all such kind of stuffs. But Oersted was the one who first observed that there was an interrelation between electricity and magnetism. That is, electricity and magnetism, these two branches were very closely related to each other. Now, how did he observe this? So let us have a look at that. So what did Oersted do? He took a simple circuit where he had a source like a battery connected to the circuit such that electric current flows through the circuit. And he took a magnetic compass needle and he placed this compass needle near the circuit. What did he observe? He observed that magnetic compass needle deflected when current passes through the wire. So now, as current passed through this wire, because of the current which is passing through the wire, this magnetic needle showed some deflection. So now what he did, he took the same magnetic needle and he took it away from this wire. Instead of keeping the needle here, he took the needle somewhere here. What did he observe? That the deflection decreased. Even if the amount of current remains the same, for the same amount of current, when you place the needle here and when you place the needle here, what did you observe? That the deflection is more here and the deflection is less here. So that means nearer the needle, more is the deflection. Okay, so that was one thing which you observed. Again, he observed that as he varied the amount of current through this circuit, when he increased the amount of current through the circuit, the deflection increased. Similarly, when he decreased the amount of current in the circuit, the deflection decreased. So he observed that the deflection of the magnetic needle was dependent on two things. One is the amount of current flowing through the circuit, and the second was the distance of the needle from this current carrying circuit. So that means, and when does a magnetic needle show deflection? A magnetic needle will show a deflection whenever you place it in magnetic field, right? Otherwise, it will not show any deflection. So it shows deflection when you place it in magnetic field. So that means there was a magnetic field which was created somewhere around this current carrying conductor. However, if you look at it, there is no magnet which is present here, right? There is only a current carrying wire. So from this he concluded that a wire carrying electric current behaves like a magnet. So this statement itself connected electricity and magnetism very close to each other. That means a wire carrying electric current, which is a part of electricity, it behaves like a magnet. That is a part of magnetism. So electricity and magnetism got related to each other very closely. So this was a very simple experiment performed by Oersted, right? He took a circuit where electric current was flowing, and then he took a magnetic compass needle and saw that it showed deflection. He changed its distance, he found that the deflection varied. Similarly, he increased or decreased the amount of current and again found that the deflection varied. So with this, he concluded that a wire carrying electric current behaves like a magnet. And he also observed that the deflection reverses as the direction of current is reversed. So that means if you now connect the battery in the opposite way such that current flows like this in the circuit. So if current flows like this, then the deflection will also get reversed. So that means the deflection was varying in a similar way as current was doing so. So what was the conclusion of Oersted experiment? The conclusion was a wire carrying electric current behaves like a magnet, or in other words, moving charges produce a magnetic field in the surrounding region. Moving charges is nothing but current. Moving charges constitute current. So moving charges produce a magnetic field in the surrounding region. Right? So that means if you have a wire which is carrying some current I, so the region around this wire will have magnetic field. So this wire is equivalent to a magnet. Right? So this Oersted experiment was a very important or a very significant achievement, because this led to a vast growth of this subject of electricity and magnetism. So we will now look at the magnetic fields produced by different types of current carrying conductor. Now this conductor can be a straight conductor, that means a straight wire carrying current. So what kind of magnetic field will be produced by that? I mean, we will mainly talk about the pattern of the magnetic field lines in this case, the direction of the magnetic field. Secondly, we'll talk about a circular loop. If you have a circular loop of wire which is carrying current, so what kind of magnetic field will be produced in that case? We will also talk about solenoid. So we will discuss each of these one by one in detail. So let us start with magnetic field due to a current carrying straight conductor. So when I talk about a straight conductor carrying current, it is somewhat like this. That means you have a straight wire which is carrying current. So in this case, what was observed? So in this case also the same kind of experiment was performed. There was a wire which was carrying some current I. So the magnetic compass needle was taken and it was placed near this wire. So it was found that it showed some deflection. Now the amount of current was varied. So when the amount of current increased, the deflection also increased. When the amount of current was decreased, the deflection also decreased. So what did this show? This showed that the deflection is proportional to the amount of current. And what is this deflection? This deflection is nothing but a result of magnetic field. Right? Because the compass always deflects only in presence of magnetic field. So this showed that magnetic field, we generally denote magnetic field by a capital B. So magnetic field was directly proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. So that was one observation. Then the next observation was that when the needle was taken far away from this wire, the deflection was less. But when this needle was brought closer, the deflection was more. So that means magnetic field was inversely proportional to the distance. Later in your higher classes, that is in your class 12, you will learn how to derive an expression for magnetic field for a straight current carrying conductor. So there you will see that all these things will come out true. So when you actually derive an expression for magnetic field, right? So these were some of the things which were observed. So the conclusion was that as far as magnitude of magnetic field was concerned, magnitude of magnetic field at a point increases as the current through the wire increases. That is, magnetic field is directly proportional to the current. The second observation was that magnetic field produced by a given current in the conductor decreases as the distance of the point from it increases. That means magnetic field was inversely proportional to the distance of the point at which we are measuring the value of magnetic field. Right? So that was an idea which was received about the magnitude of the magnetic field. Now what about the pattern of the magnetic field lines? I mean, how will the magnetic field lines look like? Because we talked about the pattern of magnetic field lines in case of a bar magnet. In bar magnet, how did they look like? They formed continuous closed curves. They originated from North Pole and terminated in South Pole. Now, in order to determine the pattern of field lines, an experimental setup was done. So in this, there was a straight current carrying conductor. So this is your current carrying conductor, this straight wire, right? So it was connected in a circuit which had a variable resistance and a battery and a switch. So it was connected in a circuit. So when you switch it on, that means when the key is closed, current flows through this wire. Now another arrangement was done. A white sheet of cardboard was fixed here somewhat like this, such that the wire carrying the current is perpendicular to the cardboard. So you have fixed a cardboard here. And a lot of iron filings was again taken and put over this cardboard. So what happened? The iron filings again arranged themselves in a specific pattern, in a pattern like this, in a pattern of concentric circles. So in order to determine the pattern of magnetic field lines, every time this experiment was performed, you place that magnet and then you put the iron filings. They will themselves get arranged in the pattern of the magnetic field lines. That is what had happened in case of bar magnet also, right? So from this it was assumed that the magnetic field lines around a straight current carrying conductor are in the form of concentric circles. So concentric circles represent magnetic field around a current carrying straight wire, right? So this was the pattern of the field lines. Now what about the direction of the magnetic field? Now, in order to determine the direction of magnetic field in case of a straight current carrying conductor, came up this rule which is known as right hand thumb rule. Now, this right hand thumb rule, the name itself tells us what is it all about. That means it will make use of your right hand and it will also make use of your thumb. So, it says that if your thumb represents the direction of the current which is flowing through the wire, then the direction in which all other four fingers curl represent the direction of the magnetic field. So here you can see that if your thumb represent in this direction, that means your thumb points to the direction of current. So if current is flowing in this direction through a straight current carrying conductor, in that case, since your fingers are all pointing in this direction, they are all getting curled in this direction, that means there is a magnetic field along this direction. That means magnetic field is present around this wire in the form of concentric circles in a clockwise direction, because it is a clockwise direction, right? Similarly, in case the current is in the upward direction, let us suppose if current is in this direction. So you can try it yourself. Take your right hand, put your thumb in the upward direction. So what do you see? All your fingers will point along this direction. So that means current is flowing in this direction, which is anti-clockwise. The magnetic field is in anti-clockwise direction and in the form of concentric circles. So using this right hand thumb rule, we are able to determine the direction of magnetic field. So now you got an idea about magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor. For a straight current carrying conductor, the magnitude of magnetic field is directly proportional to the current, inversely proportional to the distance, and the pattern is in the form of concentric circles, and the direction is given by right hand thumb rule. Let us now look at the magnetic field due to a current carrying circular loop. So let us look at the pattern of magnetic field in case of the circular loop. Now, what is a current carrying circular loop? You can just imagine that the straight conductor which we talked about in the previous slide, if you bend that straight conductor in the form of a circular loop, then what do you get? You get a current carrying circular loop, right? So that which will be somewhat like this, right? So a current is flowing through this circular loop like this, okay? So now what will be the magnetic field? Now we know that for a straight conductor, we know the pattern of magnetic field. Now we can assume that every point on this wire would give rise to a magnetic field, and every point on this wire can be compared to a straight conductor, because if you see, the same points were there on the straight conductor. We have just curved it to form a circular loop. That means every point is still now can be considered as a point on the straight conductor. So how should be the magnetic field because of each point? In the form of concentric circles, let us consider this point. So how will be the magnetic field only for this point? If we assume that this point is a part of a straight conductor, it will be in the form of concentric circles. Now as you go away, that means in case of straight conductor also we saw that if this is my straight conductor, this is the pattern of the magnetic field lines, right? So the far you go from the current carrying conductor, the curvature reduces. So if you go to a very far off point, it will almost become straight. Right, this curve will almost become a straight line. So same is the case here. So if this is your point, first for the nearer points it will be concentric circles. As you go away, finally towards the center of this circular loop, you will get a straight line. Similarly, for any other point on this conductor, I mean, it is not only about these 2 points. For any point on this circular loop will behave in a similar manner. So what would be the net result? The net result would be that the total current, because the total magnetic field because of each of these points will give rise to magnetic field in the form of straight lines at the center, because each of these points will give rise to straight lines at the center, right? So which will appear as magnetic field. So we will look at, so this explains the pattern of the magnetic field. Now what explains the strength of the magnetic field? In this case also, as we vary the amount of current through this circular loop, the strength of the magnetic field changes. That means magnetic field in this case also is directly proportional to current. That means as the current is varied through the circular loop, the magnetic field also varies. That can be seen by using a magnetic compass needle. So if you keep a needle at the same place, you keep increasing and decreasing the current through the wire, the deflection in the needle also increases or decreases accordingly. In this case, magnetic field also depends upon the number of turns. That means if you have more number of turns on this wire, then also the magnetic field increases. If you keep the compass here and if you increase if first you take a single one, then you wind that circular loop with 100 turns of a copper wire. So the amount of deflection increases. So in this case, the magnetic field also increases with the increase in number of turns. And also the magnetic field is inversely proportional to the distance. Right? Now exactly what is the relate? It is exactly r square or r to the power 3 by 2 that you will come to know when you actually derive an expression for the magnetic field in case of a circular loop, which you will do in your class 12. Right? So this is how magnetic field will vary. Now let us look at the pattern of the field lines. As I already discussed, the pattern of the field lines would be nothing but magnetic field will appear as straight lines at the center of the circular loop. So that means the net magnetic field. Right now I am talking about the net magnetic field, because see this point, every point will give rise to similar kind of magnetic field of lines. So the net result is that there would be a net magnetic field at the center, which would be perpendicular to the plane of the wire. Now the question is, so net magnetic field in the form of straight lines. So here you can see this would give rise to magnetic field appearing as straight lines at the center of the loop. So that would be the pattern of the magnetic field. Now the question is, how would we determine the direction of magnetic field in this case? Well, in this case, we know the direction of current. So here also we will use a rule similar to right hand screw rule. In right hand screw rule, what do? The thumb represented current and the curled fingers or the curved fingers represented magnetic field. In this case, my curved fingers will represent my current, because here the current is flowing in a curved manner. So the curved fingers will represent current and your thumb represents the direction of magnetic field. So here curled fingers will represent current and thumb represents magnetic field. So if you look at this figure, if this is the direction of current, you curl all your fingers in this direction. So where is your thumb pointing? The thumb is pointing towards yourself, right? That means the thumb is pointing perpendicular to the plane of this circular loop. So what would be the direction of magnetic field? The direction of the magnetic field will be perpendicular to the circular loop and upwards, right? Similarly, if this current is in clockwise direction, so your fingers will curl like this and the magnetic field will be pointing in the downwards direction. Often this rule is known as corkscrew rule. What is corkscrew rule? Have you ever observed that when you screw up something, what happens? That screw, you actually move it like this, when you try to screw it up. But your motion is in circular pattern, right? But the movement of the screw is in this direction. So it is similar to that. the current is moving, even though the current is moving in a circular pattern, but the magnetic field is going in the downward direction. So it is somewhat like that. So your curled fingers represent this movement of the screw, and the net displacement of the screw represents the magnetic field. So very simple to remember. Whenever you want to find the direction of magnetic field in case of a straight current carrying conductor, use right hand screw rule, where your curled fingers represent the direction of magnetic field and your thumb represents the direction of current. In case of a circular loop where your current is in a curved fashion, there your curled fingers will represent the current and your thumb will represent the magnetic field. Let us now look at magnetic field due to a current carrying solenoid. Before that, let us see what is a solenoid. Now, solenoid is nothing but a coil which is wound into a tightly packed helix. What is a tightly packed helix? It is nothing but something in this pattern. Suppose if you have a coil which is wound very tightly in this pattern. So this pattern is known as a helical pattern, like this. So this is called an helical pattern. So if you have any coil which is in this pattern, it is known as a solenoid. So now we will see what kind of magnetic field is produced with a current carrying solenoid of this form. So let us look at this. Now it has been observed that with solenoid, with solenoid also the same experiment was done. Some iron filings were taken and then they were placed on the solenoid, and then it was found that they arranged themselves in a specific pattern, and it was to our surprise that it was seen that the pattern of magnetic field lines in case of a solenoid was similar to that of the bar magnet. You remember the magnetic field lines pattern in case of bar magnet? They look like this, right? They originated from one pole and terminated to the other, and they form closed continuous loops. So by looking at this pattern of magnetic field, it was then told that one end of the solenoid behaves like a magnetic north pole and the other end of the solenoid behaves like a magnetic south pole. That means a solenoid is not a bar magnet, but the behavior of the solenoid is similar to bar magnet to some extent, and therefore one end of the solenoid from where the magnetic lines are assumed to initiate, that is known as the magnetic north pole, and the other end where the lines seem to terminate is known as the magnetic south pole. So here also the magnetic field outside formed this kind of curved loops, and inside if you see the magnetic field lines are from south to north and they are uniform. If you see the magnetic field is uniform, it is in this fashion, right? Now, field inside the solenoid, field is uniform inside the solenoid. This is a very important property which has been put into various useful applications, right? So here we saw the pattern of the magnetic field, right? And as far as direction of magnetic field lines is concerned, that is simple. As the direction here will be the field lines originating from north poles terminating in south pole as far as it is concerned outside the solenoid, and inside the solenoid the magnetic field is uniform and it is directed from south pole to north pole. Now let us see, where do we actually use these solenoids? What are their applications? Well, they are one of the most important applications are in electromagnets. What are electromagnets? They are specific kinds of magnets which are extremely useful for practical purposes, like in case of electric motors or electric generators. We often use these kind of electromagnets. So solenoids are actually used in electromagnets. How? A strong magnetic field, as I mentioned in the last slide, that the magnetic field inside the solenoid is uniform and it is strong. So this strong magnetic field produced inside solenoid is used to magnetize magnetic material like soft iron when placed inside the coil. For example, you have this material, soft iron, okay? You put this material inside this solenoid. So since inside the solenoid you have a very strong magnetic field, therefore this material gets magnetized. So that means the magnetization of this material increases, and such materials are then known as electromagnets. Electromagnets are those magnets which have very high magnetization. right? So that they behave as even stronger magnets, right? So in order to make electromagnets, we make use of solenoid. Here you can see from this diagram that this is a solenoid. Inside the solenoid you have placed the soft iron, and then you have connected it through a circuit. Now as current passes through the solenoid, magnetic field is produced in the solenoid, and magnetic field inside the solenoid is uniform and strong. So this magnetic field magnetizes this material, right? It is also found to be useful in transformer creation. You all are aware of the name transformer. Maybe you are not aware how a transformer actually functions, but you would know what is a transformer, right? Most of you would have seen transformers outside your houses near the electric poles and all, from where the electricity comes to your houses. So these transformers also make use of solenoids. Here if you see, they have got these solenoids with the help of which actually the transformation of the current and voltage takes place. Now how this transformer works, that we will discuss in our later classes. So for now you should just know that solenoids are useful in these transformers also.
I hope you found the video useful. If you have a feedback to share, do not forget to write in the comment section. We would be more than happy to hear from you. And if you really found the video useful, do not forget to share it with your friends as well. I will meet you all very soon with a new video, with a new topic. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care, bye-bye.